last information I had is that they're not 100% finished, which makes it not really easy for you to finalize the process.
Exactly. That is exactly the problem.
Hello, and thank you for joining our Fireside Chats with founders at the European Cardano community. I am Marcus, one of the core team members, and if you like what we are doing, please consider supporting our individual projects. You will find the links to our guests and our projects below the video. Please give us a thumbs up, follow us by hitting the bell icon, and let's enjoy this session.
Hello. Welcome everybody to another edition of the European Town Hall Fireside Chat. Today we have a smaller event, probably because of what is happening today currently in Argentina. But for sure we have amazing guests tonight, and for the first time I can finally have our friend Lorenzo here in the room with us, so I'm not the only Italian. That's a good thing. Marcus, welcome back. It's nice to have you, and thank you for the space you're hosting in Germany. That's very, very cool to have.
With pleasure.
Fantastic. So let's...
Already? Aaron is also here, and Navjit will join too.
Hello, Aaron. Hi.
Cool. Awesome round. Awesome.
Yes, indeed. Very interesting.
Aaron, where are you? You still have light.
I'm in Vancouver, Canada.
It's
almost Europe.
Yeah, almost. It's actually exactly there where the Cardano logo is. There. Here. Best connection.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool.
So, as every time we being something next to the main global town hall of Catalyst, we have also our mantra that we took the mantra from the global event and we translated it in every line in a different language in the European community, so we can make even more messier when we read it. So usually I'm the first one reading the first line for obvious reason, but today we have Lorenzo. Lorenzo, can you take out the first line and then everybody else can take a new one?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me, by the way. So can I go? Shall I go?
Yeah, just read the first one.
Benvenuti all'esperimento.
Les choses peuvent.
Then I take Cuba.
Yeah, I'm taking in the documentation.
Awesome.
Very well.
Differ greatly between iterations.
I will take it. Disorient, overload, and inspire.
Awesome. Next one?
I take it. Our goal is to provide an alpha-self and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential della collaborazione umana.
Awesome.
Let's go with the next slide. Otherwise, you stay here until tomorrow, and people is busy following Argentina's event. So this is our slide, the one for the European Cardano community that has been authored by Marcus.
Keep your notes up to date. Currently, we are at 10.1.3. 10.2 is currently pumping. So be on the lookout for that. And consider joining the Mithril network. There's just too little of them. Try to study or learn something new every day. That's what we're here for. Support and connect with community members for synergies and goals. Awesome founders. Be friendly, inclusive, and wise with words, even in anger. I think we're getting that better every fund. Share information without destroying dreams, people, or the reputation. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the European Cardano community.
Awesome, Marcus. Awesome as usual. Let's try to remember that we also host Twitter spaces in many different languages. We currently have regular spaces in German, in Greek, we had the French ones. We used to have Italians one pretty often. The next one will probably be around before Christmas. And if you know somebody that want to host any space with our sponsorship, we have a small contributor that come from Catalyst. Please let us know, get in touch with one of the team, and we'll make it happen as soon as possible. So, without further ado,
before we start, one thing in own terms, we have proposals running.
Yes.
To get this thing, keep this thing going. We do it anyway. But if you want to support it, vote for us. You find it by either just typing my last name, Ubani, Ubani, or you take the long route, European Cardano community. Whatever you're liking. The most important part is tap on the green button, and then send the info to your best friend and the ones you hate, and tell them, hey, we can live in peace if we click the green button here.
Very, very cool. Nice.
For your support.
And speaking of which, we've also had a few weeks ago a very nice pitch fest. We proposed and showed, we pitched several proposals from our community. We have another appointment the 19th of December, if I'm not mistaken. I'm right, Marcus?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So it will be a very interesting event like the last one. There was a lot of people and the proposals were pretty interesting. So
when is the next German space?
Sorry?
When is the next German space, Marcus?
Let me check. That will be on
12, if I remember correctly. Not sure.
17th of December.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Perfect.
Cool.
Let's get started.
Yeah, finally, our guests, our beloved guests. We should start with Landano. But I don't see.
Yeah, Aaron. Just as a quick reminder, we have changed the format a little bit. So you do a 2-minute version of who you are and what you do, and then we dive into the conversation. You're free to drop anything about your project during the conversation as often as you like, as long as we have a nice flow.
Exactly. We usually have that.
Ask questions and bond.
Okay. So, Landano is Landano's a property administration platform for small governments around the world, but we're starting in Africa, and also a place for individuals who have rights to land or property or their homes, but they can't easily access the kinds of records they need to be able to prove it, to protect their land and have security of tenure. So we're starting in Mozambique. We're launching in January with 24,000 individuals' records on our platform that they can access and use to show whoever they need to that they have actual rights to their properties. And then soon after that, hopefully in February or March, we'll be starting in Ghana with small governments in the Kumasi region. And then 2 or 3 years after that, hopefully we will have established a nice market base in 2 or 3, maybe 4 countries in sub-Saharan Africa, and we'll start partnering with larger governments in the rest of the world. So that's the long-term plan. Not a lot of people understand that there are about 1 billion people around the world that don't really have the security of tenure or security of their homes that they would like to have, and so that's really where the genesis of this project came from. And so you partner that with the security that you get with blockchain and the ability for people around the world to access things on blockchain, especially using the uniquenesses of Cardano. It was kind of like an obvious way to at least try to solve this problem, make records more accessible. And so that's kind of how we're going about that. We've had, like I said, we're putting 24,000s on record right now. We're in the middle of putting them on testnet on Cardano, and we'll be migrating them to mainnet over the next, few weeks, I suppose. That's kind of where we're at right now. We've done a lot of work, and our CTO and a couple other guys, and one woman actually, are just working their little fingers off, getting these records on chain right now. We've got three proposals in the current funding round going on, and we're working with a low code programming platform called Mendix, which has got something like 10 million users around the world. So everything we do for Cardano that gets funded by Project Catalyst is actually a Mendix plugin, which has 2 great advantages. One, it allows more people into the Cardano ecosystem, into the Cardano community. They don't have to learn Haskell or anything like that. And also everything we build as a component of Landano, which is how we framed our proposals, it actually can be used by anybody in the Cardano community outside Landano. You know, and we can talk about my proposals or anything you want. I'm sure you guys have more questions, you know, over the next few minutes. But yeah, if you have questions, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we can get back to you and you throw the question after presenting the guest, maybe, so we can have more fluent conversation.
Sure.
Cool, very nice. So next guest is our friend Lorenzo. He did magical things with a lot of great company where in the Cardano space. So I'm so happy to have him here finally after time for so long time. Lorenzo, welcome here.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Yeah, Nesso. So Nesso is really just an extension of myself. I do a lot of I help a lot of great companies on Cardano with marketing efforts, and you know I'll keep it short. I'm not saving the world for now, but what I'm doing is really just amplifying the vision of all of these amazing founders that are building products or offering services on Cardano and Bitcoin. So I've been like laser focused on communication, specifically on Twitter. I really made that the hill I wanted to die on, and so I kind of like went really deep into it, and I tried to understand how the game and how to play it and how to master it. And it's been a lot of fun for the past 2 years. Been working with a lot of just amazing teams. Just to name a few: Fluid Tokens, JPEG Store, Cerberus, Vesper now, Palm Economy with Dan. Like so many amazing just people. Like, you know, they're great companies, but most important, they're amazing teams. And what Nesso really does is I call it like the marketing stack for Cardano companies. It's like I really built it as a very dynamic plug and play solution where companies that are laser focused on product and just shipping can take a little bit of weight off their shoulders and take a break from Twitter and just let us do the thing, because we're pretty good at it. So that's really what we do. And of course, you know, there's always a mean, like the goal is always is not just to get likes or retweets. That's just a consequence. It's really just raising money, you know, raising just for token launches. Just this year, we successfully raised for Fluid Tokens, Spark Places, and recently Cerberus, which it's been, you know, just a great year. And so yeah, we help with raising funds on Cardano and also raising awareness for products. So whether it's a token launch or just a product launch, yeah, we can help. That's really what Nesso is. Nesso in Italian means link. So that's what Nesso is. Nesso is the link between your community and your product. And yeah, it's been great.
Oh, awesome.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Lorenzo.
Let's link to Najid.
Yes.
Everybody knows Iagon now, so I don't think there will be much need for introduction. But yeah, let's tell us about what you're doing now. What are the next evolution of the project?
Yeah, nice to be back. It's been a while. Haven't been here in a long time. So thanks, Marcus, for sharing that invite. Yeah, Iagon's had, I hope everyone knows. If you don't know, basically we're Airbnb for storage and compute, kind of, in a simple terms. We have high ambition to be something much larger. You know, we're targeting the likes of AWS in the future. Obviously, long ways away from there, but
that ambition has to be somewhere, because otherwise you don't stop. I mean, you stop at some point. So you want to have a goal, and you want to drive to that goal, and that's what we're doing. And we have a lot of success in the last few months as well. We've been working and talking to a lot of Web2 enterprises, and it's great to see a lot of the interest from their side. And one of the first announcements was that we could make publicly is Revert Group, which is a $26 billion company out of Europe. It's a Fortune 500 in Europe. We've been talking to them for a year now, and one of the problems they had was monetization of 3D parts. And specifically, let's focus on examples as car parts, because that's more familiar to me. They've been working with Mercedes, Porsche, GM, different other car manufacturers that have a hard time monetizing these 3D parts. So and why I say that, because when you actually send out a part or a configuration or blueprint of a part, it can be cached on a printer and easily basically duplicated, or as many copies as you want basically printed out of that specific part. So this kind of industry hasn't really opened up because of this fact. And it's kind of an untapped industry. And they wanted to find a way to monetize this. First, they had to start at the printer level, because you have to find a way to stop the caching and a way to encrypt that so that they can't do that on the user side. And the second was the storage side, to make sure it's encrypted, safe for their enterprise users. And the third thing they wanted to do was royalties, payments to the people that hold the IP. For example, Mercedes or GM, they have their own IP on different parts, and they want to be able to monetize that. So they have to have that royalty payout to them and be able to share it out with others. So the royalty payments will be settled on LDL1, so Cardano being that. So the different royalties will be going to Vert, the print shop, which is printing the part, and Iagon as a storage layer, which the 3D files will be stored on. So this is a great one for Cardano, because they wanted to be a little bit more transparent with their royalty payouts for everyone that's involved in this certain economy, right? So we want to we're glad to be part of this mission that they have, and this MVP that we're proposing in Catalyst is hopefully fast tracking that. And a little bit about what the expectations are, what we're expecting in the next 2 years, at least from Vert's side. What they've mentioned is estimates between $50 to $100 million in the next 2 years for this MVP. And globally, they see this as a $1 billion industry. And they've so far gone to say that, this could be expanded to many other manufacturing parts, because just not relative to the car industry, it's relative to a lot of other industries that have the same problem. So they can see this expanding rapidly. And then it's great that they chose us and they reached out to us, because one of the factors that we had was the compliance, the privacy, and also, we had the layer one that we're working on, which is Cardano. So they are actually very keen to build something with Iagon and Cardano. That's the first proposal. And we have the second proposal, which is a Fortune 500, which is also big in its own way. This pilot is basically the Fortune 500 has a lot of idle storage and a lot of compute capacity, and they're able to basically create a secondary revenue stream from this, because they can allocate the idle storage capacity to the Iagon network and earn extra from this. They have a lot of business clients that have this idle capacity as well. So they can also cut down subscription costs for their business partners in return, because they're earning that extra profit from the idle capacities. They will focus on 3 storage nodes in the beginning, and hopefully it expands from there if it's successful. The other part that is, if it's successful, will probably happen. If it's potentially could happen, not probably. I want to make sure that expectations are low, because I know community has high hopes here, and we obviously have high hopes as well. But want to be realistic as well. So potentially what that could mean is a white label solution on all the laptops that they produce globally, which is millions and millions. This means that basically you have Iagon powered cloud solution on these laptops, which is a massive adoption for not only Iagon but also for Cardano, because we're using the layer 1 as an access, right? It's a powerful thing, I think, and that's in general what the Fortune 500 is about. It gives them a lot of new revenue streams with the cloud service, with their the idle capacities, and eventually possibly compute. So there's a lot of a symbiotic relationship with them through this pilot. And the last proposal is just tying in the two. Basically, we have a security audit and architectural audit with security audit with SecureWorks and architectural audit with Twig. Basically, we want to make sure that that this pilot and MVP has the best success possible. We want to give it a high chance of success rate, and it's important that we do all this because at the same time if we're doing this earlier, these audits, it's better for enterprises. They have some assurity that these things were done and done in a proper way. And we've seen in the past in this industry that people take a lot of fast steps, and sometimes it doesn't work out well because that backfires and people don't want to go back to blockchain. So I think it's very important that we're taking these small steps. And even though this is one of our smaller proposals, when ADA price was much lower, this was is still a very important part of the two other proposals. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening in.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting. Thank you very much for being here. Speaking about Catalyst proposal, Aaron, you say that you had a few ones running, right?
Sorry?
You say that you also had a few proposals running in this Catalyst round, correct?
Yeah, we've got 3 proposals. Yeah. What we've done is we've kind of we made a little schedule like I suppose everyone does of like different components and features we need in our product, and then prioritize them, and then out of the early priority ones figured out which ones we could which ones would be of most benefit to the rest of the Cardano community, and then kind of built a proposal around them. So out of that process has come 3 proposals in Fund 13, one of which is we're calling it I'm calling it like a GIS interface. It's like a geographical map interface that you can use for like anybody can use this. We're going to just like build a layer of different map APIs, like one map API like MapQuest or something. I don't think it's MapQuest. I forget which one we've actually chosen to use, but it's going to be that, and obviously we'll use it for our different being able to see where your plots are and things like that, where your land is. But anybody can use it just by accessing it and plugging it in. And then something we're calling media scan and upload. We'll be using that for people on the ground in wherever the land actually is, to be able to like take pictures of property boundaries or just any kind of land use that they want to use to like support their own rights to using their land. Sometimes you have to prove that you're actually using land to have legal right to it, things like that. And sometimes boundaries aren't exactly legally nailed down to the centimeter or millimeter or anything. So it helps to know what people are actually using for boundaries on the ground. And you'll be able to, so that's how we'll use that function, but really anybody will be able to use that for whatever purpose they want. Just take a picture or short video of something, really any kind of media, and then upload it and use it to support whatever they're doing. And then we've got something else called map chain, which is, it's really kind of a network effect of verification. It kind of goes hand in hand with the need to have like, digital identity wallet, things like that. Just, people in a community will be able to see other people's plots that may or may not have fully recognized by the central government land records, they will be able to support ongoing uses and legal rights that do exist but don't have the documentation to back it up. We'll be able to create a lot of support for existing uses that are legal by having different members of a community validate and support different people's claims that become records on Landano. I don't want to get too in the weeds here because this is something anybody can use. It's just like a network effect of different, it's a little bit like a social network of people validating each other's like land claims for us, but really it can be a network effect of anybody validating anything, is how I see it. And I can definitely get into the weeds of like the 2-track kind of like legal system and like how that's like something we're leveraging in sub-Saharan Africa. But that might take a few more minutes than I really want to get into here. But fundamentally, those are our 3 proposals that we've got in Fund 13, and we've already won 2 similar proposals in past fundings. One's to implement the Cardano Foundation Identity Wallet as part of our identification process for transactions, and the other one. We're actually wrapping up a different one right now, which is getting the 24,000 records on chain on testnet. Yeah, so those are our proposals.
Fairly interesting. How did the implementation work of the identity wallet of the CS?
Oh, it's just that was a Fund 12 proposal. So it was supposed to kick off, and actually it was supposed to be done by now, but we put that on the shelf for a few months to finish out our other getting the 24,000 records cleaned up and sanded off and put on testnet took a lot more time and effort than we expected. So we haven't actually started that yet. We've had several meetings with folks from the Cardano Foundation about this identity wallet. Trying to figure out because they haven't really, they're kind of still in development too. So it's like a 2-track procedure, and we're still kind of like talking amongst ourselves how to really implement that right.
Yeah,
but
that's what
do that. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what I was talking about. That's why I was asking, because the last information I had is that they're not 100% finished, which makes it not really easy for you to finalize the process.
Exactly. That is exactly the problem. But finalizing the process helps both of us out, and shouldn't be that difficult to implement something and then go from there.
Very cool. I just want to go back to Najid, because I find it incredibly interesting how you went from the initial claim that I remember, and that was the hook for me, is you being a doctor and focusing first on medical records, storing them there too, and now you're in a whole different industry and it's a whole different play now. Was that a planning from the beginning, or was it more a development that came over time, or was it a pivot where you saw, okay, medical health records are not that ready yet from many countries with the regulations, or is it how did you get there where you are right now? And then I want to provide you the chance, because I saw that on Twitter, that somebody called Iagon just a mere IPFS solution, and I want to give you the chance to pave that down.
A good one.
Yeah, I mean, we in the beginning, when we actually were when I was actually having the first idea, it was first focused on medical data, but we had the founders, which are the other founders that came, and they kind of molded the vision a little differently, right, into a more generic cloud service, if you will. So it changed actually early on. And obviously there's pivots made in on the way, right? Because you can't get it right the first time. As a startup, there's so many things that you go through. It's kind of hard to nail it down right away. I mean, if you do, that's great, but it's very rarely seen in any industry, right? So I think that mistakes are made. You learn from the mistakes, and you improve the model. One thing we did get right, though, from the beginning was, at least now that we look back at it, I mean, looking back at it, you can always say that, but it is that we went for a patent. And I guess that gave us some kind of head start, especially with Web2 enterprises. And when we actually mention that, that's something of an advantage for us, because it's not something that they can copy. It's not something they can go to anyone else with, because it's out there. There's a patent, and it's granted to Iagon. So I think this is the part we did right, and we should, and it gets kind of molded the vision into a more generic kind of cloud solution, if you will. And one of the other reasons why we didn't go the medical route was there's a lot of compliance issues with medical data storage. It cannot be. You have to have certain employees. For example, for HIPAA compliance, you have to have someone that knows HIPAA compliance on payroll. So there's a lot of still compliance factors. So it's actually much tougher to get that implemented than it is more of a generic cloud service, because as you're catering to the general folk. And with healthcare data, it's much more stringent and government controlled. So you have to get not bypass, but abide by some regulations that are much tougher. And we are going to get there, and we are going to approach that. We have a solution, hopefully with Midnight, that we're working on, that will cater to that as well. In regards to the IPFS, we were very early on, an IPFS iteration, right? But that's just to showcase the ability of what Iagon could be in terms of, we had different mechanisms in terms of how we stored files and things like that. So after that, that's been a long time ago that we've pivoted away from IPFS. So it's taken, obviously, you can't build, you have to build a solution from somewhere, and you have to build, prototypes. You have to figure out, is this the right direction we're doing? Is it fitting to my needs? And like I said, you can't get everything right the first time. So we noticed why IPFS wasn't a good solution, and not a good solution to build on, because of certain compliance issues. Like IPFS cannot be compliant with private data, healthcare data, because you cannot delete data at all. And that's something that's required by compliance. You cannot geolocate data in Pacific regions, and they are actually pivoting to a different direction. So IPFS is actually redoing the architecture and pivoting to a direction that we already have done from the get-go. And I'm glad that we have something that the patent that has protected us will protect us in the future as well. But I hope that answered your question.
Awesome. Absolutely wonderful.
I have a question. Yeah, your patent. I guess this is probably a U.S. patent. Just I'm making a guess here because you're talking about HIPAA.
It's a VPO. It's a worldwide patent, actually. So we filed it first through the US and then through a lot of the other countries. So now it's worldwide. Europe, Asia, even China we have a patent in China as well.
Where are most of your customers or your activity?
Right now, we don't have that. We just started onboarding customers, so we have most of our node operators are in the US, actually. So we have a lot of node operators in the US. We have a lot of node operators in Germany and Europe as well. Yeah.
Going the route via the US into other countries?
Yeah, I mean, US was the first one. US is kind of the biggest industry, and in terms of the biggest.
On my proposal that didn't pass, and I want to ask Lorenzo, do you see any strong marketing need for Catalyst proposers now, and how they can achieve to get better results? Because sometimes you have the feeling that for having a proposal that passes on Catalyst, you need to spend a lot of money in marketing. and that is a little bit contradictory between the need of a funding system like Catalyst itself. So what's your opinion about it?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean the point is really just, I think I've marketed a lot of Catalyst proposals over the years and for clients of mine, and I think that the biggest thing is really collaboration. When you partner with other companies, it's easier to uh it's easier to get votes and to amplify really what you're doing and show the proposal to as many people as possible. And then, as we know, it's really about getting it to the people who not the people, the DAOs who have a lot of influence. And by influence I mean ADA. We all know it. Like, so whether it's MinSwap DAO, Liquid, Waffle Capital, like there are very big players that are very influential, and they have processes to highlight Catalyst proposals. And so that's definitely a very good way to ensure you get a lot of votes. Of course, when you are just an individual, just like you, it's David, it's harder. You do need to be everywhere. Just really push alone. On Twitter, the good thing is that you don't need a budget. Like, of course, you can hire Nesso, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's just a big budget sink that you could spend on other things, especially if you're just an individual with a big dream, right? With a big vision. So I think just participation is just very important. That's free. So whether you're joining spaces, you're writing tweets, you're communicating, you're jumping on calls with other individuals that are influential, that's really the best way to go. And I would extend that not only to Catalyst proposals, but to like all sorts of marketing on Twitter. A lot of companies are really just a lot of companies' Twitter are just announcement boards, and so they're not really clicking, they're not really speaking to other people. They're just letting other people know, letting the world know what they're working on, but they're not creating a connection. So there are many ways to do that. And I've been networking incredibly heavily with all sorts of people and founders and CEOs in not only on Cardano but on Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Dogecoin, just to understand as much as I could. And it's like DMs are really my way to get into other people's circles. So I start a conversation and then I jump on a call and jump on a meeting. And that's really, it's very basic, but it's very, very effective. When you leave a mark, when you show your face, some people are not doxxed, but we're all doxxed. So really, that's really effective. I hope that answers it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was very interesting.
I have a comment. Yeah, I think that Lorenzo's right. I think one thing that I noticed was there's one person that actually did pretty effective marketing leading up to his proposal. He didn't even talk about his proposal until the proposal came. I think Lorenzo probably knows what I'm talking about. He did some videos in terms of marketing for Cardano ecosystem. You guys probably seen it, but he's done a lot of like interactive videos with talking about Cardano, what the problems are, and how it could be solved. And he had actually a very effective way of communicating, and I think that resulted in him getting a lot of attention before even the Catalyst proposals came out. He did it even before the Catalyst proposal came out, leading up to the build an audience to understand that, okay, there is an issue with marketing. This is how we solve it. And then he had the proposal, and then obviously he did get. I believe he will get some votes. I don't know how he will, if it will succeed or not, but I think he will.
No, but that's an excellent point. And it's really just all the work that you do before submitting a proposal. Like we are in Web3, and yes, we're solving real world issues. There are companies behind it, lots of employees, people, like it's very complex. But at the end of the day, we are in Web3, and we have to create and build a community around whatever we do. So we have to make people excited, whether it's not just about Catalyst. Catalyst is just a way to really just get funds, but it's a very good way. I really like it. I'm a big fan. But so like what I do with Fluid Tokens, we've been working for 2 years building a community of people that are now invested, not only just because they bought the token, just invested as a community. They're really interested in what they're doing. And so when the time comes, we need to share a proposal. It's easier because we've already built that core community. So really, for any project, I really just encourage everyone to start thinking deeper about community building and those Web3, very Web3 aspects of what that means, of just creating a big, strong, solid network of core people. Because those, if you don't have a marketing agency, if you don't have the budget for a marketing agency, which is totally fine and acceptable, then those will be your marketing agency. You need just like for Iagon, for example, there's so many people that are just excited. Those people are literally working for free, sharing, spreading what Iagon means and what the mission and the updates. They're sharing with friends. They're sharing it on Discord, on Telegram. And that's really the best kind of marketing to me.
Now we need to know who was that genius. For those who didn't follow, was it Lorenzo?
No, it's me.
I don't know. I think I forgot. I don't remember his name off by heart though. So I just seen his videos on. He was talking about. I think he had one video he was talking about in terms of brand recognition, and Cardano was in 26th spot and ahead of some brands. If Lorenzo probably knows what I'm talking about.
No, I do remember. He used to be a very active figure in Cardano early days. Yeah, I remember. Content creator. I can't remember the name. Sorry?
Was it Suraj?
No. He was a YouTuber, like a content creator, used to make a lot of videos covering Cardano, and then kind of like as things goes, with the bear market, he just stopped or just didn't post it as much. And then he came
David
back.
or something. I'm not sure if that's a David. Not Dave, the technical Dave, but
yeah, the other one.
It was the other day.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but that's very smart. Leveraging just content creation, because like, for example, where Cardano is really missing that. Of course, there are some very good content creators, YouTubers, but they're, he just leveraged what he was good at. And that's very important.
How would you, I think, we as European Cardano community, we're doing actually a quite good job in what we're trying to do, I think. But the outreach is still not as big as we want it to be. What are we doing wrong?
That's a very good question. I would need to really just dive deep into like the operations and what you're doing, but like generally
you have X spaces, by the way.
Sorry?
Do you have X spaces, or do you have
just a few? Do you think they are the most traction?
I think a lot of the crypto and the Cardano community is on X. It's pretty lively on X, and there's also a big Discord community as well. So I think that the funnel, I think, is X, where you get more attention. And these meetups are awesome, to be honest. I like them personally. For me, these are awesome. But I think that for the general crowd, they would like X Spaces or something live spaces where you
Yeah,
kind of
like a live stream. Live stream would be
live stream.
amazing. Yeah, for sure.
Live stream on this on the X. I think that would be get more attention and because people are looking to tune in to their next space basically. And
Absolutely.
if they find something interesting, they definitely tune in.
We thought we played with the thought to transmit a space like this into the next space at the same time, so that we could basically move the questions into the next space. Would that work? Try that.
I think the best way would be a live stream. Live stream is so much better because you show, because like we're all showing face. It's great when people can really just see, because like I don't personally use my face for Twitter just because I love the culture, Web3 culture, but so many people don't. But this is a good moment. This is a good opportunity to do it. I have nothing to hide, so I think live stream would be best. Plus, right now, Twitter is actively pushing everything video related. So every single native video, so no YouTube videos, just native videos uploaded to Twitter, and live streams are just do very, very well. Very, very well. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Nice
good.
hints. Thank you.
Just so, Davide, we need to rethink.
Yeah.
And we need to put that. We need to test that, and that's cool. And we need to get the guys more.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Marcus, or really anyone, but you kind of threw this question on the table. You're talking about growing the Cardano community, growing the user base or whatever. Who are the lowest who are you thinking of bringing in? Like what is the typical profile of the next user that you would like to bring into the Cardano world?
If I'm answering the question first, actually, what we don't see us as the group that would trigger new people into the ecosystem, but we want to foster them. We want to foster founders into the ecosystem. So those who are founders, we want to trigger them to use Cardano and to find their way around. We have tried it with the Country Hub workshops. There are communities like the Odyssey DAO that are very good at this. We are not so good at this, to do the live events. That's okay. That's okay. But we want to leverage them. We support them, and we provide the funds to do that. And they will basically suck the people in, hopefully, even more. And we push them as founders into spaces like these, and to get connected and to lose fear of founding in the web space, in the Web3.
Okay, so this is all completely from like a founder kind of perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because we spend a lot of time talking about who our users are and how we talk about the blockchain technology that we use to somebody who might just be a farmer somewhere, it may not have any interest or may have lots of interest in blockchain. And I was just kind of wondering if, that's how you were thinking about it in terms of expanding the Cardano world. But no, it sounds like something quite different, which is also very useful.
I have a different perspective from my project version, but I don't want to step into the ahead of the other people, of the other two here, because it's about you guys. But the gist of it would be, our users wouldn't actually need to know that they use Cardano. So we're taking the tokens in the background, and they would just use it like a Web2 solution, and everything else would happen in the background. And if they then dig deeper, they hopefully will be positively surprised that they own the data.
Yeah, exactly.
What are your thoughts, guys?
I think I agree. I think that you need to hide let's say the hard parts, technologies on the back end. A lot of people, I guess it's easier said than done, because we talk about all these technologies, and it's kind of like it comes from a marketing angle as well, where you're trying to communicate these very difficult words into something that's relatable to these consumers. So it's important that we try to, at least on the website, on the front-facing website, to try to make it very simple. So my son just came home.
Beautiful.
I mean, I think like those are great points. I think like the problem can be divided into two different categories. One being like users that are already in Web3, in crypto, and that aren't on Cardano, and so they need to usually why would they get a wallet and start using the blockchain? They usually need an opportunity. So like showing that opportunity is incredibly important, whether it's a new dApp that's launching, new service, something that you can do, leveraging EUTXO, like leveraging Cardano specifically, that you can do on Solana or Ethereum. And then there's the bigger the larger chunk, which is people that have yet to be onboarded to crypto in general, and specifically, of course, to Cardano. And so those people, I think, they need, just like we, at least I speak for myself, but like just like I was onboarded to crypto, big vision. You need a big vision. You need to have some sort of ideal that you agree with. And to me, it was Charles. Charles was just really the guy that I really started just diving deeper into the videos, and just got very I just agreed with a lot of the things he was saying. And then I started wondering what the technology would be. And so I tried it. I just got a Cardano wallet. I followed some tutorials, and I found my way into the ecosystem. But so there are, I think, two different ways. What I do for all the clients, we're mostly speaking to the Cardano community or Bitcoin community, or people that are already on Cardano. So I think that's the easier part. The biggest challenge would just be to have a killer dApp. I always think about like a Polymarket, something so interesting, like in terms of adoption, that people just want to use, that people won't care if it's on Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, or they just want to use it. They just want to get their hands on it and just be active on the platform, whatever the service is. And I think platforms like Iagon could be that for Cardano. We need like a Cardano killer dApp. I always say that just, forget all the tech. I'm not a technical person, so I like to just simplify things. Forget everything. Just let's abstract everything and just get to the core of what that thing does and who it helps and why it's needed. And then, get as many people excited as possible. So I think on Cardano, we really just need a killer dApp. It's like something, or even we could just drop the D, even keep it decentralized, but drop the D. Just
totally agree.
Have a killer app. Let's not complicate things. And so, because like a lot of people, if you look at, great job at Intersect with the marketing, they do but they're focusing on marketing Cardano, which is so hard. Like who markets AWS? Nobody, because you don't need to market AWS, right? You need to market the applications that are built using AWS do marketing, and those onboard people, and then they use AWS as indirectly. So, but I really just want to stress that we need to market companies.
Yeah, I mean that's I agree with Lorenzo there. I mean, we have a big problem in the Cardano ecosystem, like with Emergo and all these other side enterprises that aren't pushing the Cardano ecosystem or the projects on the ecosystem enough. And it could be done.
It's like if you, as you just said, if you have a solution just take a traditional company, you don't say we run on telecom server. It's just like, buy the house, we run on telecom servers. I would say explain your product or your solution, and for those who are technically involved, they will understand that you use blockchain in the background just by describing your issue or describing your solution, and give them the chance to ask, because then you open up a conversation. So trickle it down would be probably the right description.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I always stress this with all my clients, like, show the benefits. It's really not that, like, just keep it simple, because like there are a lot of people on Cardano that are incredibly technical and have a like just incredible technical background, and they're very smart. Sometimes they're too smart for their own good. I like to say I'm not that smart. I just keep things simple. I like to Eli 5 things as much as I can, and so yeah, it's like, keep it simple, show the benefits first. Don't talk about product. Just show the benefits of the product. So much easier, right? So, and build a community, because we are in Web3. So advertising, yes, works, but it's very limited. Same goes for like Twitter, like ads. It's like, it's very limited, and people don't really like it on Cardano when you start paying for advertisement. So just go the organic way and build a community around it, around your product.
Awesome.
Very, very nice. Thank you.
Marcus and Emmanuel, we didn't hear anything from you. Do you have questions? Don't be shy. If not, that's also okay.
No, I was impressed of the information which I have collected, and I was really deeply thinking how can we promote Cardano more, because I have the same feeling if I come with a background of technology that is almost the people don't understand what does it mean, and yeah, Cardano is at the moment not touchable for them, yeah, in the world, and that's the reason why they don't have any connection to that and cannot understand what is really the main or the game changer in the world, yeah, with the decentralization. And if you are not aware about it and not enthusiastic enough, then you lose it very fast, yeah. But on the other hand, application is the surface of Cardano, yeah, and application and solution, and that's the right way. And if you tell something about blockchain, almost the people are skeptical, at least in Germany, I can tell you, yeah, almost, that is not our business, it's too far away, and it's not the point. But I see the future for it, yeah, because I'm working in a security area, and if I see the current landscape, which is configured at the moment, that's not the future against the hackers and so on, to protect your systems. The architecture from today is I would say on a maturity level very high, yeah, but now we have to think about new solutions, and I think one of them could be the blockchain technology, yeah. But nevertheless, with my X-Base, I try to get people from everywhere. It doesn't matter, some interest to see which people were interesting to see, to hear something about Cardano or blockchain and so on, but also a mixture of expert or professionals, so to bring all people together and have a very relaxed discussion round, yeah, for the starter, for the beginner almost.
Awesome. What's your Aaron, because you've been asking, what was your what is the feedback that you get when you talk about Landano?
Well, I find I have two very different audiences that I need to figure out who I'm talking to, or like trim my conversation towards these different audiences, and the Venn diagram doesn't overlap very much. So I either have to talk about the real world impacts and like how we're helping a lot of people, or how we're like helping, how we're like really streamlining the land record world, and just talk about anything but blockchain. Just talk about what the business is and who our customers are and what we're doing. Or if I'm like inside the Cardano world or something like that, I have to talk about really just like what we're doing. You know, are we on testnet? Are we on mainnet? What we're really doing in the blockchain world and how we're using our records, and like, you know, like to really get into the weeds and don't talk about real world impacts at all, or who our customers are, or what's really going on outside Cardano. So there's this huge overlap, but like there's a real world analog to, you know, our work in Mozambique with our 24,000 records that I end up talking about all the time, because it kind of like validates the reality of either use case for like either audience. And it's I don't know if anybody's heard of this yet or not. It happened in July. The state of California put all 42 million of their automobile titles on blockchain, like, you know, a bespoke commercial, you know, enterprise blockchain based on Avalanche. And then they just sent out a QR code to everybody who owns a car in California saying, okay, now you can use this to transact your car, to sell your car. You don't have to go into an office and stand in line and then wait 6 weeks to get a piece of paper in the mail. You can just do it standing around near this car that you're trying to sell or buy. So they, you know, they've done that. California's figured out how to do this, and just, you know, how to like blend the two worlds. And I use that as an example all the time.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm visiting quite a few SSI spaces currently regarding the UDI wallet, and also in Health AI, and what I always hear is, here in Germany we are on a good way, but we're still behind with that technology, with the implementation. However, what I like a lot is the process, to talk with the companies and to see, okay, we see how other countries have implemented the technology, and what do we as startups, as SMEs, as big enterprises, and as governmental agencies think about these use cases, and what can we learn from these experiences. So I like that process a lot, and I think that is a good analogy to what is Ethereum doing right, what is Polygon doing right, what are the other blockchains doing right, what are projects, classical projects are doing right. We don't need to reinvent the wheel all the time. And I think what you demonstrated here is you have to wear different hats depending on the community you're talking to. So you segregating them, like your actual customers and your investors. I think that's a good learning. If you think differently, just let me know. But with that, I would otherwise conclude and ask everybody to give a final sentence for other founders, what you would say, how to go on in a uprising market, and what's going to happen with the inevitable crash that is on the horizon, and how to prepare for that. Lorenzo, if you want to start.
I was not expecting the inevitable crash. I'm not.
Point is gotta go.
That really shocked me. No, I think
German.
Yeah. No, I'm Italian. We're very optimistic, you know. It's I think there's a long way to go. We have like at least a year, if in cycle terms, at least a year of just I like to call it silly season, because everything gets silly. So we just need to keep razor sharp, like just laser focused on our mission, and get the products out as fast as possible before everyone, what people call it, retail, comes in. Because like attention comes and goes, and we will get in the next, let's say, 6 to 12 months, peak attention. And so I don't want to talk about price. I disagree with like the catastrophic prediction, but I think in terms of attention, yes, there will be a time in the next 6 to 10 months, 12 months for Cardano where the attention will be at its peak. We will have maximum amounts of audience. And so we just need to make sure that everything's lined up in terms of what we are proposing and what we are building. Because if we have a great idea, but there's no product in 8 months, we might miss this cycle. And that's unfortunately, it will happen for some. They get late to building out an idea and developing it. But yeah, like that's really what I think, you know. But you know, I'm very bullish. I'm very very optimistic. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine.
I didn't say it's going to happen tomorrow. Don't worry.
You just said it was inevitable, though.
Yeah, you did say it was.
I mean, you're probably not wrong, but
Very nice. Very cool.
Aaron, final words? Not in that case. I mean, like, the final words.
You know, in general, just like keep it up, and you know, these conversations are great. We just need more of these. So whether it's a meeting or a joining the Cardano Summit in person, which is amazing, or having these sort of conversations, it's just that's really what gets us on the same page, and just continue our separate visions, because we all have separate visions, right?
Beautiful. Thank you.
Just one last thing, because we have Lorenzo here. I want to remember that we'll have a meetup in Bologna next Monday about Bitcoin OS, and will be also present Matteo from Fluid Tokens.
Very
So
nice.
it'll be
Thank you.
across-
Yeah, we'll definitely reach out to you. I'll see if I can make it.
Cool. It will be amazing to see you in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic, guys.
Thank you,
So
guys.
I think we can approach the conclusion of this meeting. What do you think, Marcus?
And the proposals will be down there below the video. Open up the
On
description
YouTube.
and
Exactly.
find Lorenzo, Aaron, Iagon, and Davida, and Ubani, Ubani, and then you have both proposals. Have a great time, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Ciao.